Okay, guys, let's see about MEC2 architecture. Okay, but let's instead of going with the mini project, actually I wish to have one more mini project, that is file uploading and downloading. But let me pause due to the some jars, and I will cover this later on. I will cover this project later on. So before going on to start projects, let me have some of the interview questions. Where did you use Java Beans in your project? Okay. So, as a data transfer object, or you can call value object, or in just last session of this tutorial, we learned about data transfer object and value object. So, as a data transfer object or value object class, while copying the records of a result set object to array list element, at that time we have collected all the data set, we have collected all the values from the database table to the array list, and array list object, array list rows result set rows values, database table values to the result set, and result set values to the array list elements. So at that time we have used Java beans. So whenever next use of Java bean is as a model layer resource while developing a MEC1 architecture or MEC2 architecture based projects. Next, you can give the answer to the interviewer. Whenever I was working with the persistence hibernate based persistence class, in that case, I used a Java Beans class in my projects as a hibernate class. Okay. Next, Java Beans are majorly used not only in Hibernate but also in Springs in the form of Pojo and Poji, plain old Java objects. So whenever you want to convert plain old Java objects and you want to minimize the dependency, at that time we generally works with the Hibernate. We generally work with the Spring Bean classes, plain old Java objects. So in session tracking, even while working with the Java beans, we can use the Java beans in session tracking also. So we can set the different individual attributes in different forms as attribute name and attribute values. But instead of setting different attribute values and attribute names separately, what we can do, we can create a Java bean session bot for that particular user, or maybe the different values, and we'll keep that attribute name and attribute value in the Java bean object and place that Java bean object in a session. So in session tracking, as a session attribute value to store multiple values of a form page as a single session attribute, I can use a Java beans. Next up, even in earlier days, in Struts 1.x versions, we used to have a form bin class. We used to have a form bin class which act as a Java bin, which act as a Java bin. So these are the different applications. So these are the different ways where you can use the Java bins in your projects. So the first is a data object or value object. Second, while working with the model layer resource, while developing MUC1 and MUC2 architectures. Third, while working with the persistence class objects, okay, or you can call plain old Java objects. Third, while working with the Spring Beans in the Spring projects or Spring applications. You can use Java Beans in session tracking to set the different attributes. Okay, next is, so in the case of Struts application, you can work with the form beans. So these are the different applications. So there are the different ways or different applications while working with the Java beans. Okay, guys, fine. So let's see next different question, that is where did you use collection frameworks in your projects? Okay, fine.